system in place to keep us in chains. By show of hands, who else is sick and tired of the same? 1% trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out. Minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How is everybody tonight on this Thursday, October 29th of the horrible year that has been 2020? Welcome to the hottest show in prime time. Thank you very much for being here. And if you're not here right now and you're listening to the show on the way to work tomorrow morning, please drive carefully and don't run into anybody from all the laughter. So, tonight, I have a very special guest. Because not only was he the runner-up to 2019's The Voice Australia, but he's also calling me from the future. And I find that pretty awesome because it's Friday there and 11 o'clock in the morning and it's 8 o'clock here, and time zone changes fascinate me. They always do. When my brother lived in Hawaii, it was 6 hours behind. So like 8 o'clock in the morning here, it's 2 o'clock in the morning there. And I used to call him all the time, wake his ass up. It was hilarious. He doesn't live in Hawaii anymore, but still, it was pretty funny. But now, on to the fun stuff. So again, like I said before, last year, run up to The Voice Australia. This year, one of the hottest new acts out there. And I'm very, very proud and glad to have him on the show. So please, without any further ado, please welcome to the show, Mr. Daniel Shaw. Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, dude, it's my pleasure. I was all about having you on the show, so I'm very, very ecstatic to have you here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you all right. Sorry.
It's no problem. No, like I said, I'm really happy to have you here. So we're gonna have some fun tonight.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So let me ask. Let's start off this way. Have you pissed off any 80s pop stars lately?
No, don't think so. Don't think so.
I've been planning that joke all day. So for those of you who don't know, there was a little bit of a controversy last year where Daniel said something that Boy George did not like. I read the comments. I saw the video. I didn't really see anything wrong with it. I thought it was a funny joke. I mean,
yeah.
And Boy George got upset and literally walked off the set. And I saw that. I was like, oh, I got to make a joke about this. So,
pretty crazy.
I'm sure it was. So, I hate to go right to this, but
yeah,
let's get it out of the way because then we'll have a regular conversation. What went through your head when you saw that man leave?
Well, the thing is, I never saw him leave.
You didn't?
No, it's reality TV. So, what happened for me was, I think I started singing and then I looked up and he was gone. Like there was nothing dramatic at all there. I didn't even know what happened. I was just confused. And then, yeah, that was pretty much it. Like,
wow.
I really don't remember too much. All I remember was I watched it. Like when I was like, oh, finally something's come out for the show. And I was like, oh, gee, that's a bit dramatic. It makes it out to be that we're like butting heads or something, but we were like completely fine. I think they just wanted to make it dramatic. That's all.
Of course. That's how it works. Yeah.
I was surprised though. I was like, wow.
You were surprised that they made it more dramatic than it was?
Yeah, well, not even just that, like how they did it. Like I was like, how did they like put some music there and then just make it seem like they made it seem really awkward because it looked like I was waiting, like there was silence, but I was actually they grabbed a different part. Like I could see I was actually not even looking there. I was looking at a different spot and they grabbed me and then they kind of changed the angle to look like I was looking somewhere where I wasn't, or that I was feeling nervous, or like all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like they created a whole scenario.
So, did you say what you said, and then
Yes,
is
I
that what?
did.
No, I'm saying, but is that what made him leave, or was it something else? And they just kind of put those two
Yeah,
together to
that
make
that
it.
was something else. Yeah, because
So
what
he left
happened
because of something
was,
else. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I don't even know when he left. They probably didn't care. They probably just wanted him to leave at some point. It was probably all planned. But I said that, and then he said, "Well, I care." And then I think Kelly started talking. So I was looking at Kelly, and I was like nodding and stuff like that. But they made it look like I was looking at him still.
Hmm.
And because I wasn't saying anything, it still worked. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the whole thing I thought was like way. I mean, even watching it, the reality TV version or reading about it, it was like, this is nothing. I mean, for those of you, again, I just explained it, but what was said was, Boy George asked him, "Do you play guitar?" And your response was vaguely, "Nobody cares if I play guitar," or they want,
yeah,
whatever, something along those lines. And he said, "Well, I care." And then supposedly that pissed him off to the point where he left the stage. But still, I
yeah,
mean, if you're there as a pianist, pop star, pop artist, you
yeah.
know, what does it matter if you play guitar?
Yeah, I was more trying to say, I think, and some people kind of got it, because I did a lot of street performing, and whenever I played the guitar, I had no crowd, and no one cared because so many people play guitar in the streets and that kind of thing, and it's just kind of, it's not unique enough, I guess, for people unless you play really well, and that's why I kind of discount myself because I didn't play to the point where it was really well. Like a lot of people can play chords, but can you play really well? So whenever I played piano, all of a sudden I was like, watch this, the crowd's going to come in, and then they do. So that's kind of what I was saying. Like no one cared when I played guitar. But yeah, it kind of came across probably, yeah, a bit blunter than I hoped. But yeah, I was
No,
nervous.
I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were. I mean, I talked to somebody from the American Voice. I think it was 2016 or 2017. He came in like fifth place, and he was like, the whole thing is just nerve wracking from start to finish. He even got eliminated at one point. He was on Blake's team, and then he got eliminated, and then Adam brought him back as like a save. So he ended up being on two different teams, but he said that the whole thing is just completely nerve wracking from
Yeah,
point
it definitely
point A
is.
to point B. Yeah, so I can
Yeah,
definitely understand that. I mean, yeah, it's anytime you're auditioning for anything, regardless of whether it's
definitely.
reality TV or not, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
So let's talk about how you got to that point. I mean, what inspired you to get into the music business? What was your defining moment that said, "Hey, I'm going to be a musician"?
Mm.
And then what led to you being on The Voice last year?
Yeah, well, for me, I think my sister was starting to learn piano. My dad was teaching us. I never sung at first. It was all just learning piano. And I've always been quite competitive, so I just wanted to beat her in everything and anything, to be honest. So then I started learning piano, and long story short, she stopped and I kept going. And then my dad kind of saw something in me, so he just never let me stop. Because as kids, you just give up fairly quickly unless someone's like on your back, just telling you no, you have to keep going. So he kept me going with that, and then I listened to some Billy Joel and Elton John, which my dad was really into, and that kind of introduced me into the style of playing and singing kind of thing. And I was like, oh wow, I really look up to Billy Joel, like the Piano Man. I really look up to Elton John, and what they do, and it really excited me and inspired me. So then I started singing their songs, and then my dad was like, well, we can't just let this go to waste. Let's bring you onto the streets and let's do some, we didn't know what to do, but some street performing. And I did that from when I was 8 years old. And I've been doing that for like 13 years, just every weekend. I've got school during the week, and then I went busking on the weekend and school and busking. And it was just part of my life. And I really just developed my art there. And then it just really became a huge dream of mine, especially when I went to a concert of Billy Joel's and I actually saw him live. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to be doing. And I mean, it hasn't changed at all. And with The Voice, that was just, I've gone for talent shows in the past, quite a few times actually, and I've been turned down every time. And it was really weird because they would invite me. I would get the producers and the people, the talent scouts, finding me, and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, you should go on this show," but then they never followed through. Like they invited me, I didn't have to line up too much. I did my thing, got to a certain point, and then they just never let me through. So then I stopped trying, and I kind of resented talent shows. And then my girlfriend at the time, she's my wife now, she was like, "You should go on The Voice," because I got an email for the second year in a row saying, "Come to The Voice." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm going to go just to just to make you be quiet and prove a point that I'm not actually gonna, nothing is gonna happen out of this." And I was really like agitated, and I just didn't want to be there. But then I was super surprised when after my first kind of round of auditions, I was like, wow, okay, I think I could actually get really far in this, and I don't know why, but from the beginning, they had a disposition of really liking me. And I was like, okay, this is super weird because I've never received that kind of appreciation before from people like that. So yeah, I was like, whoa.
So it was definite ego boost,
Yeah.
number one. But then, going back to what you said, as far as like your dad was your piano teacher, was your dad a professional musician or just something he knew how to do? Was that something that he pursued on the side? I mean, what exactly was your dad's background in music?
Yeah, well, for him, he just really appreciates music a lot. I wouldn't say he's not a professional or anything. He did some piano exams in the past, and he knew enough to get me going. But then it got to the point where obviously he needed to get me teachers, things like that. But his brother was a musician. That's my only link to music that I can really seem to find. So yeah, but otherwise, no, he's not really a musician. He's actually an IT programmer, but he really has an appreciation for everything musical as well.
As most people should. I mean,
Yeah,
music is a whole nother level of appreciation for humanity. It is a whole other level of appreciation for life.
yeah,
It's unifying. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I can't get enough music, and music is my life.
yeah.
Um, so you discovered Billy. Uh,
Billie Eilish.
I can't even talk anymore.
Yeah,
Billy Joel and
yeah,
Sir Elton John, and those were your two biggest influences.
yeah. To begin with, and then I think obviously it's changed over time now. I don't really. I still look up to them both, but it's not the same. That was like when it was really fresh for me, and that was I really wanted to be the next kind of piano man. So I even named my YouTube channel Daniel Shaw Music Man, and it hasn't changed because it's just stuck there. And I was like, oh well, Piano Man's taken. I need to write a song called Music Man, and then, but I wasn't anywhere near being a man. I was like 8, but yeah, that was the obsession. That was the dream. Now it's other artists like Dean Lewis and Passenger and Lewis Capaldi and like a whole bunch of different artists now that I look up to.
That's that's awesome.
Yeah,
And again, you just said it yourself. I mean, as people get older, music evolves.
definitely.
Taste evolves, your sound evolves, what you appreciate, evolves, and it gets deeper. One of the things I say that I love about my show is the fact that, and I did this deliberately, is I don't discriminate against genre.
Yeah.
If you're a musician, I don't care if you're a pop artist, a rap artist, R&B, metal, whatever. I am a huge metal guy. I love all things metal.
Cool.
Which, by the way, I just want to go ahead and say, some of the best metal has come out of Australia in recent years. But we'll get into that.
Oh, I see.
But anyway, I'm a metal guy. But when I started the show, I was like, I don't care what it is, and it's really opened my eyes and ears to stuff that I've neglected over the last 20 years to where it's like, oh, I can't stand country music, but I've had a bunch of country artists on the show, and it's like, oh, okay, I get
Yeah.
it, or pop or rap and anything else like that. It's like, okay, I get it, and it's nothing like what I remember it, and
Mm.
or just my appreciation level for musicians has changed, and I love that. I mean, it's you're never gonna catch me at a rap concert or an R&B concert. But you know what,
Yeah.
damn it, if they come on my show and they have good freaking sound, I'll listen to them all day long. I don't care. But
Yeah.
it's about just discovering new stuff. Um,
Mm.
so what inspire? I know you just said what you said, but
Yeah.
everyone has this outside force that inspires their songwriting, their sound itself. What is that for you?
Um, what that inspires my sound, or just music in general, or
Just everything about everything from your songwriting to the actual sound itself, the music itself. So what
yeah,
exactly brings that out in you?
yeah. Probably just in general appreciation for life, and also I'm a very big believer in purpose, and I'm kind of like I'm like a Christian. I believe in God, so I believe He gave me this gift, and so that's probably the number one reason I'm inspired to create and to sing and write. But also like yeah, appreciation for life as well. It kind of comes down to what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm a creative, for my wife, for my friends, for my team, and that kind of all flows and just helps me to create my music. Yeah, I think it's all of that in one is probably what drives it the most. I can't really picture myself doing anything else.
And that's how it should be. And
Yeah.
I love your answer. I mean, just that general
Mm.
appreciation for life. That is an epic answer because I mean, it hits every level of it, every level of
Mm.
music appreciation. That's perfect. It's a great answer. I love that. So, one of the things that I've noticed over the years, whether it had been American Idol, The Voice, America's Got Talent, or Britain's Got Talent, or Australia's Got Talent, we don't, all the different talent shows, is the ones that win seem to fade away into oblivion.
Yeah.
More often than not.
Mm.
Obviously, there's a few exceptions, like your Kelly Clarksons and your Carrie Underwoods of the world. But
Yeah.
other than those two, I can't remember anyone else that's won a talent competition that made it huge.
Yeah.
Um, so some people consider not winning more of a blessing, more of a
Yeah.
because then you're not contracted to them for a year. I don't know how it works in Australia, but
Mm.
here they have be signed with them for 1 year and basically live and breathe everything Fox, NBC, or ABC or whoever owns that program.
Yeah.
So are you grateful that you didn't win or
Yeah, yeah. I remember that. I remember that night so clearly. I didn't, in a way, I didn't want to get as far as I did, but that was just because then I'm too close to winning, and it's a bit of a risk. There was a whole lot going on while I was going through the process of The Voice in terms of, am I doing the right thing? A lot of thoughts going through my head, and I was like, you sign contracts all the way through. It's pretty intense. There's definitely the good side, but then there's the contract side. And so when I came second, I was so ecstatic. And before that happened, I was like, I'm gonna win. Crap, I'm gonna win. And everyone was thinking, he's gonna win. But even Wikipedia said I won, and I didn't even win. And some people still say I've won, but I haven't won.
yeah. Some of the
Yeah,
stuff that I read was people were I mean, internet trolls, obviously,
yeah,
no reputable source, but they were all up in arms that you didn't win and saying, "Oh, the thing was rigged. They wanted Boy George's
yeah,
person to win." Yada yada yada, and like they were just flipping out that you didn't win. But again,
yeah.
no offense to the person that did win, but like
Mm.
right after you're the one that is trending on iTunes,
Yeah, yeah,
higher than she was, and you know, you've been doing that since since the show last year. So I
Yeah.
mean, what was that feeling like, knowing that you're like, okay, I didn't win, but you know what? And again, nothing against the other person,
Yeah.
but like you're like, I'm exceeding the other person. I can do this. This obviously these people love me. What goes through your mind when that's all going down like that?
I think that was one of the highest points of my life because I was already ecstatic that I didn't win because I think most people get on shows like that so that they get noticed and they get signed. But that was the least of my worries because I already knew I was going to get signed. By that point, I was like, okay, I've got a great team, I've got a great manager, I've got everything going for me. If I don't get signed by Universal, which I was, really happy and glad that I was, but if I wasn't, then I've got other opportunities as well. So I was just really at a huge high, and then that was icing on the cake. That just shows you that the backlash in terms of he didn't win. They all rallied behind me, and then all of a sudden I was number two record in the country. So it was like I've never charted before, not even once. And then all of a sudden I was gonna I was gonna hit number one, but then big artists came out with some new tracks, and then they pushed me down. I was like, oh, I'm gonna hit it. I was getting so close. But yeah, that was a huge moment. Yeah,
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, that feeling alone has just got to be surreal. I mean, to know that you went from, just being that guy that was playing on the streets or just doing everything else like that, constantly getting overlooked by other talent competitions and, not really sure what's going to happen, and all of a sudden, boom, you're number two in the country.
yeah,
Um, you know, is I can't even I don't even know how to react in a situation like that. I mean,
yeah,
that's crazy. That's absolutely
yeah,
insane. So, you won last year, then some time goes by, and then boom, this year hits, which has been absolute
yeah.
crap. Now, I've only
Yeah.
talked to one other person in Australia this year, so excuse the questionnaire here, but how is it over there compared to here in the States, which is absolute shit with Corona right now?
Yeah.
How is it there? Did everything shut down? Is everything still shut down? Is music back
Yeah.
open again, or what's going on?
Well, music, it's not looking that amazing. I'm probably in the worst state in the country at the moment, Melbourne. But right now it's looking good. We had it pretty hard. We were shut down really intensely, and we had like barely any cases compared to anyone else. But regardless, we were still shut down. Music is not open. Like it was a real kind of um, yeah, like kind of hitting pause on a lot of things. But I started off the year really strong, actually. It was looking very promising because I started off touring with Lauren Daigle around Australia and New Zealand. And then I was getting some awesome phone calls about doing stadiums actually to do some because the fires were going on, and then we are going to do some awesome stuff to support that. But then they called that off, and then Corona came. But everything was like I could feel the momentum, and I was going to release music. I've been constantly working on new music this year, and I was in and out of the studio, and everything was looking very good. And then, yeah, I was like, okay, everything's kind of shut down. Now I'm going to go straight to social media. I'm going to work out. I never stopped working. It's just, it looks very different now. And it was disheartening at times, but in a way, I've grown so much from it. If you just don't stop, if you keep going, but work out what am I going to benefit from during this time, then I mean you're winning regardless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, if you've got a good fan base that's going to support you through thick and thin, then you are winning
Mm.
no matter what. Um, here obviously it's just as bad, if not worse. They're talking about 2022 before
Wow.
touring comes back. Now there was a festival announced for next October in Sacramento, California, I believe it is. Um, but who knows if that's going to go off? I mean, that's a year
Yeah.
away from now. Normally around this time of year, all the festivals that we have that just kind of tour the country. May, May, we call May the world's loudest month here in the States,
Yeah.
because of all the festivals, and none of them have been announced.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like, I've said this until I'm blue in the face, and my audience is probably like, yeah, we know, Derek. But I saw 10 different concerts last year,
Yeah.
and this year I've seen none. So, and I'm also a stand-up comedian, so it's like, I haven't been able to perform either. I performed
Yeah.
once this year. If it wasn't for this show and being able to come on here and talk to people like you and make silly jokes every night, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be dead. If I had to, go back to working a regular job and all this other shit, I would have been like, oh no, I can't.
Yeah.
No,
You can't
please
do
don't
it.
make me.
Yeah. No, but I'm the same. Like I don't think I have it in me to actually be able to do like a normal job, like ever. I think I tried once, and then I actually quit the first day, and I was like, nah, this isn't for me.
Yeah, I mean, and at this point too, I mean, in your career, especially after everything that happened last year with The Voice, nobody would hire you just because of
Yeah.
the publicity that place would get, and it would always be inundated with your fans.
Yeah.
Why are you working here? When are you going to start singing for us? Come on, just do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I find hilarious. Whenever I hear about somebody leaving a business, regardless of whether it's music or acting or whatever the case might be, and then you hear that they're working a regular 9 to 5 job, it's like, are people coming to you and are they because they're a fan of yours, or because they legitimately want to do business with you? And it's one of those hard conversations to think about, and I don't even want to fathom that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just want to continue to do what I'm doing, and I'm hoping that you get to continue to do what you're doing, and everyone at the end of this year, hopefully, things start to turn around.
Yeah, hopefully it turn around soon. Hopefully, do you guys wear masks?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
that's probably one of one of the crazier things as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is odd because I'll walk in because I'm a hipster douchebag that loves to wear a beanie everywhere. So
Yeah.
I'll walk into I'll walk into a grocery store or a Walmart or something, and I'll have the beanie on and I'll have a mask on. The only thing you can see is my eyes, and it's like if I walked in here a year ago looking like this, I would be tackled to the ground, taken out of here in handcuffs. They're gonna think I'm gonna stick up the joint, but it's like.
Now everyone looks like that now. So
it is. It's
yeah.
the weirdest thing ever. And but then also here, we're right in the middle of our election. That happens on Tuesday, and it's, everyone's sitting there trying to politicize this. Trying to say, oh, well, the Democrats are the ones that are causing this, and the Republicans are making it worse. And it's just like, guys, can we just unify under one banner of people getting sick? 250,000 Americans have died because of this, and yet we want to sit there and complain that we have to wear a mask.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy times.
It really is. But again, it's like the sense of normalcy. Whether it be music, or even just going to a bar and having a beer with your friends, it's none of that exists. And
well, we can do that now here finally.
We can too.
Just recently.
Yeah, but they like our restaurants, depending on the area, like where I'm at, outside of DC and Virginia, everything's still like 50% capacity. You can't sit at the bar, but you can sit at a table next to the bar.
Oh, okay.
So it's still a little weird. But it's like even the breweries that I would go to, those are at 50% capacity, and you still can't sit around the bar. So it's like, I just want to go have some fun, drink some beer, maybe listen to an acoustic performance or something. But it just sucks. It really does.
It does.
So, are you and everybody around you, all the other musicians that are there, just playing it by ear right now for the next year, or are you guys actually starting to plan stuff?
Well, for me, I think we're definitely planning the next phase of. I mean, it's been a long road for me. I've had new music ready for for a while, but due to, you know, Corona and everything, it's kind of complicated. But yeah, for me, it's looking good. It's looking like I'll be releasing music early next year. So that's very exciting. But there's a lot to do even before that happens. It's my first release with a label, so I've I've never known like what to expect. But we've got to do all the photo shoots. We've got to do the music videos. We've got to work out my story, my brand. We're just starting from the beginning because it's a brand new thing that I'm doing.
Yeah, so I mean, that right there has got to be, absolutely just terrifying right there. I mean, working with a label for the
Yeah,
first time,
definitely.
and everything else like that. One of the things that I love talking to people about on any level of music is with nowadays, anyone can buy a decent computer, download, Pro Tools, make it their own album, with an acoustic guitar and, whatever the case might be, or synth sound or whatever the case might be, and put it out on Spotify or iTunes or whatever else. And really kind of take charge of their music. And I've always asked
Yeah.
everybody, and you can be politically correct about it because I know you are signed.
Yeah.
You know, I've asked a lot of people, in this day and age, do you want to stay independent or would you rather have a label behind you? And
Yeah.
most of them have always said, especially the independent ones, like, no, I kind of want to stay independent because I have more control. What are your thoughts on that? I mean,
Yeah.
how, willing is Universal willing to let you have control? How is everything kind of working on that front for you?
Yeah, well, think I'm completely different because It really depends on the people, though. For example, like if it's a label and there's people involved where it just feels like you just don't connect with them and they're not giving you any kind of control or anything. Obviously, you would want to be independent, but I'm more of a follower than a leader in terms of I enjoy being creative, but I like to be surrounded by people that know what they're doing and that I really appreciate and that I like on a personal level as well. So I feel like I love the scenario I'm in. I wouldn't want to be independent. Yes, there are some complications in terms of, especially when I first got signed, I'm not used to other people. I think at first it was hard because I was doing things and I didn't realize I had to ask permission to do certain things, for example, or like how much I had to keep people in the loop. I'm like, but I'm just doing this. Like I would do this in my general day to day kind of, but everything links to music. So all of a sudden I have to, ask, oh, is this okay? Like, or is that okay? And for me, that was the hard thing to kind of get used to. And I was constantly in a position where I'm like, damn, I did it again.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that does suck. Especially for, someone like me, who I do everything independently. I've built this show from the ground up to, now be, damn near 900,000 downloads a month,
yeah,
but I'm the one that reaches out to everybody. I mean, I'm the one who emailed you.
yeah,
But it's like, it'll go to their inbox and then they might look at it and then they got to send it to their manager, like we did. And I was talking to your manager from there on out, which is fine. But it's like, just this whole rigmarole. But,
yeah,
if I find an independent artist or whatever the case might be, I just send them a quick email, like, sure, let's do it. And they come back
yeah.
and, it happens within
Yeah, but
days.
that's super quick. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's just funny to me.
yeah, no, and it was like that for me when I was a busker and stuff. And there's a good feeling with that too. But then with my manager, for example, it's just like I really connect with him so well. So that now I just feel, I leave it in his hands and I trust him a lot. And I feel like it just works so well. If you find the right people, I mean, you're completely fine. I think a lot of people find the wrong people and then of course they want to be independent.
Yeah. And I think, I could be completely wrong. Maybe I'm just jaded. I think here in the States, people are more greedy when it comes to music, and it might just be my opinion. I don't know. Because I can't compare it to other states. I know for a fact, I mean, here in the States, we are greedy with it, but comparable to other countries, I don't know. But,
Yeah.
there they're always, well, we're going to change this because this is what's popular right now. Or, oh, this person just released this and now they're trending number one. Now I want you to go write a similar song and go do this.
Yeah.
And if you don't, we're going to go ahead and we're going to change it to where it kind of is like
Yeah.
you. And then it's crazy,
Yeah.
like here's a good example, like Ed Sheeran. His first album, very acoustic, very just lovey-dovey, just him and a drum. And
Yeah.
then his next album comes out and Shape of You is on it. And it's like,
Yeah.
that wasn't even originally for him. It was for Rihanna, if I remember correctly. And you could tell that it was not an Ed Sheeran song, but he was like, okay, I'll do it because that's what the label wanted him to do.
Yeah.
You could kind of tell that his heart wasn't really in it.
And that's interesting though, because that was his biggest track.
It was, and
Wasn't
I'm
it?
sure he
Yeah.
loves it now, and I'm sure, but at the time, and then again, I haven't talked to the guy, I haven't looked this up at all. This is just strictly opinion, and I might be 100% wrong. But when you're one way, and then all of a sudden it just, complete polar opposite. I mean, there was no acoustics in there at all. I mean, there was no guitar parts at all in that, and yeah, it's his biggest song ever. But at the same time, it's like a departure from who he was, and I was even though I'm the metal guy, I loved Sheeran. I think he's badass. Plus, I think he's hilarious as hell because he does bit parts and cameos in the weirdest of TV shows or movies, and it's just hilarious to me. But it's just that whole idea of losing control of your music just scares me because I've seen it happen so often. So does that happen a lot over in Australia, or do they let you have a little bit more creative freedom?
Once again, it's probably to do with the people, because if you're, I keep bringing up my manager a lot, but like we connect more on a personal level. So then there's that trust there, and he doesn't want to do anything where it's going away from who I was and who I am, because he actually saw me street performing. And he saw me from the beginning, what I was actually like. And if anything, like recently, he reminded me of like what he loved about me recently as well. And he was like, okay, like, don't forget that kind of thing. So I kind of experienced the opposite, but I completely understand that, when you put other people into the mix that don't quite know you on that personal level and don't know enough about you, I mean, they're going to change you, flip you, whatever. They want the results.
Dude, it sounds like you have a great team of people behind you.
Yeah, I do. Definitely.
I consider you one of the lucky ones then, but at the same time, I think you're one of the most talented people I've ever talked to, and I've talked to a lot of talented people.
Thank you.
I love your voice. I love the way you play the piano. I think you've got a certain some it factor about you, and it's just amazing. And I'm glad that the people around you are supporting that, and that's really, really, really awesome.
So good, yeah.
So let's go back to the voice for a second.
Okay.
So I might be completely wrong, and again, this might be tabloid, crap. But I do want to address it because I just want to, for my own personal opinion, because I'm just curious. I believe during the final performance, somebody went online.
Yeah.
And she claimed to be a former classmate of yours.
Yeah.
Yes. And she was tweeting or Instagram, whatever it was, things that you supposedly had said about that were anti-LGBTQ, very anti-gay stuff, and it kind of made its rounds around that time, around the finals. Number one, was there any truth to it? Because I only read one article on it. I didn't want to find out. I didn't want to find out your response at all. I did because I wanted to hear your response from your mouth, not from a tabloid.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't know the answer to this question. Was there any truth to that at all? And and what was your reaction to it?
Well, the thing is, at first I was really surprised when I saw this because this girl who apparently claimed to know me from school, I actually don't remember her at all. And then I looked more into her profile because I was looking through photos, And I was like, who is this person who claims to know me? And I just didn't recognize her at all. I was trying to show to friends, do you know this person? Who is this person? And I never actually found out. And I'm usually quite good with memory when I see someone. So obviously this person didn't know me very well. And I think one of the tweets that she posted was that I'm like a 0 out of 10, like personality, and that I'm a complete idiot, and like all these kind of things that she was saying about my personality. And I was like, you haven't even like had the chance to talk to me, like face to face. How would you ever know anything about me on that kind of personal level? And that I don't know with that photo. I don't know all that kind of stuff. I feel like she's a PR student. Apparently, I think she just wanted to ride on the wave that I was obviously riding because I was going so well. So I think she just wanted a lot of attention. It didn't seem to take off too much, but she managed to get that one article going. That kind of thing. We decided to just ignore it because we didn't want to give her any of the attention that she wanted. We talked about it, and I was like, I don't know who she is. What do we do? And we're like, well, it's to be expected. You're in the spotlight. People are going to say what they want to say. They're going to say they knew you from school, and you'd be like, I never knew you, kind of thing. So for her, I decided I think it's best to not get involved in it. I blocked her, and I was like, I'm just not going to get involved. She can do what she wants, but she's not going to get what she wants from me, which is some kind of, yes, I knew her, or anything really. She just wants to write off something. So yeah, that left me quite confused. And in a way, it kind of deflated me. That was at a point where I was like, especially when you get media and articles that don't even get your age right, and this and that, and it's like they're acting like they know you, and you're like, what is going on? Yeah. So that was me at that point. I hadn't experienced anything like that before. I don't appreciate what she did, but then again, I mean, she's just trying to probably make a name for herself or something. So I understand that part. I don't want to judge her, but pretty much. I think some people, I just replied, and I ended up like stopping it, but I replied at first, and I was like, well, I don't judge anyone based on anything, like I try to be as accepting as possible. I hope you understand that kind of thing. And then people were usually fine with that. But then I wasn't going to keep replying to everyone that were asking me. I was just going to leave it be, because I had a show to focus on as well. That was before the finals.
Yeah. And I mean, the only reason I bring that up is because, like I told you before, I don't really research my guests, but just, typing in your name, because I wasn't sure your website, so I can get, a bio about you, so I can put it in the YouTube description and also the description on the podcast. When you type in anyone's names, stuff is going to come up. And I glanced at I glanced at certain things, and that's when because again, I knew about you and I had heard your music before, because I believe you follow me on Instagram, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then when I was like starting to book for this week, and other people, I was like, I got to have him on the show. And, and then that's when I kind of found out all these little things here and there. I'm like, okay, that just sounds weird. That's stupid. Let's have some fun with it and, whatever. Again, it's all tabloid crap, and people just, and jealous of, your fame and stuff like that, and stuff's not happening for them or whatever the case might be. And that happens all the time. So just to, clear the air, there's no truth to that at all, though, right?
No.
I didn't think so. Not at all. But I do, I did feel inclined to ask, because I'm a huge LGBTQ supporter. I'm actually wearing, my Pride Month T-shirt that I made for the show, and my daughter's a lesbian as well, and I have a gay pride tattoo and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I would be remiss not to at least bring it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Oh, and I appreciate you answering the question. I appreciate you answering all my questions tonight, man. I mean,
no worries.
I'm always afraid that I'm going to go too far. I'm always afraid I'm going to have the wrong question.
That's all right.
And offend somebody. It's like, but at the same time, it's like, what? If I don't attack it, if I don't ask the question, I'm never going to find out the answer, regardless of whether the after, the backlash is, it's like, okay, whatever, at least I tried. So let's, got a little bit of surprise for everybody here. Daniel's going to perform one song for us on his piano.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and let's do that now. And
Awesome.
let's go ahead and tickle the ivories, brother.
Sounds good.
And I know that you're leaving, just don't leave me now. I'm getting closer, oh, your heart is fading out. And you should probably go, didn't mean it like that, I know. And stop pushing me out, just say that you love me, don't make this our last goodbye. And if I told you I wanna spend the rest of my life with you, that I would drop everything and leave all my baggage behind. And is it too late now? 'Cause I know it's immature, and I know that you're leaving. Just don't leave me now. 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 And I know that you're leaving, just don't leave me now. As I'm getting closer, oh, your heart is fading out. To me there's no one but you, and you are the one I love. And I'm falling for you, still falling, it's true. And I need to know now, if I told you I wanna spend the rest of my life with you, that I would drop everything and I'll leave all my baggage behind. And is it too late now? 'Cause I know it's immature, and I know that you're leaving. Just don't leave me now. 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 I know that you're leaving, don't leave me now. I know that you're leaving, don't leave me now. Just don't leave me now.
Thank you.
Dude, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. One thing I love about your sound is that it's not so overproduced that it sounds different live versus the album.
Yeah.
And your voice is just the exact same way here. Your voice is the
Sorry,
exact
what's
same
that?
way. No, it's okay. Your voice is the exact same way here as it was anywhere, anywhere else you can listen to you. And I think that is a very, very magical quality about you, that I just absolutely, love about you.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Again, that's I said it earlier, but this is the reason why I love doing this show so much.
Mm.
I get to be, exposed to people that I would never otherwise listen to. I might know about them and I will, follow them, especially if they got talent to them. But I would never, sit down and actually listen to an entire album like yours. And I've done that twice in the last week.
Wow.
Just it's a fantastic album, and
Thank you.
what you've done is just amazing, and I am just floored by you, bro. And it was definitely a true honor to have you here today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, no, it's been great being here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
No problem. So, what's the future holding for you over the next few months? What do you have planned if you can release anything like
Yeah.
that?
Well, yeah, like I said, I think it's more leading up to the releasing early next year. So at the moment, there's a lot of meetings going on. We're getting set up with the label properly. A lot of music videos and creative direction. Where are we going with this? A lot of kind of just setting the foundations there and building from there. This is going to be definitely the biggest thing I've ever done. It's going to surprise a lot of people. It's going to be, I can't say too much, but it's going to be very surprising for people. Like a new side to me. So it's great. It's been great exploring my sound as well. I've never had a proper producer where, well, I've had proper producers, but in terms of a producer that really gets to explore even more so where I fit in this music industry, because my sound, sometimes it can be quite unique, and it can be very complicated in a studio environment. So finding where that fits and what is too much and what is not enough, and then all of that kind of thing, we've found what we're happy with and what we think actually reflects who I am as a recording artist, and it's going to be great. Yeah, it's very exciting. So that's what's in store for that. And at the moment, we're just, it's just all leading up to that. I'm still writing, just because you never stop. You never know what might come out, but we've got everything already ready. And we're just going along and letting it happen.
Yeah, I mean, and I said this earlier. I mean, Australia's really kind of in the last couple of years made a huge musical impact. A bunch of great metal bands have come out of Australia that have now taken off worldwide. I mean, you've got I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but you got like bands like Parkway Drive and Periphery and 12 Foot Ninja. All these different bands that have come out of there. And plus your neighbor to the south, New Zealand, is doing the exact same thing. Bands love going over there and playing for you guys. I mean, one of the coolest stories I ever heard in my life was Foo Fighters back in 2011 or 2012, somewhere in that general vicinity, went and played in New Zealand, and I think they obviously played Australia too. And either one of those two places, the crowd was so big and they were jumping up and down so much that it actually caused a minor earthquake.
You're serious? Oh my gosh. What?
Dude, I am dead serious. Google that.
What the heck? That's weird.
Google Foo Fighters earthquake, and I think it might have been New Zealand, but it was, it just,
wow.
Yeah, there was so many people jumping up and down that it actually measured on the Richter scale.
Far out.
But that just shows you how cool the music scene is and how appreciative you guys are over there for all types of music, and it's just awesome. It's just awesome, dude. Daniel, I appreciate you coming on the show, man, and
thanks so much.
A blast, bro. You are a true talent that I'm very honored to have.
Thanks so much for having me. Thank you.
Dude, no problem. And I hope to have you on again next year, or
sometime
in the future when you have your new album release. And I hope I get to be a part of that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, man. Sounds good.
All right, man. Well, you take care.
You
take
too.
care of that new wife of yours, and we'll talk again soon.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
See you later. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, man. Bye-bye. All right, guys. And that's our show. That's our Thursday. Come back again tomorrow for new artist Ty Traherne. Same time, same place, same channel. But until then, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, And as always, stay healthy. I will see you guys tomorrow. Please make sure you go and listen to Daniel on iTunes, Spotify, and everywhere you can find his music. But again, what a great guy. But until tomorrow, guys, again, stay heavy. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.